Up now. I've gone live. If it comes up, it comes up. If not, it not. I'm not too worried about it.
We've had some technical problems.
Uh, God, that was killing me this morning. Yeah.
At least you
Got to
slept
talk to
good.
some
Got a
nice.
good sleep.
Yeah, I got
There
to
you
talk to some
go.
nice people from Philippines when I was calling up Verizon, going, "Why is my shit not working?"
Ah, yeah. It just showed on banner that you were live.
All right.
So maybe we'll have some people come in and
Yeah. I don't even know if this is a question that needs to be answered because everybody always says values, morals, ethics, principles, and I know what that means to me, but
yeah.
I don't know what it means to you. I don't know what it means to Chrome Dome Omega or David Smith, but
What's
you
up,
know,
fellas?
because I don't think anybody's ever. What's up, Smurf? I don't think anybody's ever don't or defined what values, ethics, morals, and principles are part of MGTOW. I've looked at a lot of old videos, but I've never seen it defined.
I think Hammerhand talked about it one time. He was breaking them down, but it was his personal aspect of it.
Yeah.
Not saying, well, this would be a tenant of MGTOW, or something like that. I don't think I don't remember him breaking it down into that. So,
Yeah. What's up, Ronan and Indy? Welcome, brothers.
getting some fellas coming in here. What's
Yep.
up,
We
Indy?
should have
What's
the
up, Lee?
hamster in here in a bit, unless he's going to be a sneaky little hamster. But we'll see.
Sneaky little rodent.
Yep. They're all rats and their furry little hearts. Hey, Rusty Rivers is here. Excellent.
What's up, Rusty? See, can you see your comments and still see the pictures of us?
Yes.
See, I can't. I have to, if I want to read the comments, I got to hit this chat button on the bottom of the screen and then hit comments, and then it blurs out our pictures and just brings the
Oh,
comment up with a gray background.
okay. Well,
So
that's different for me.
yeah, because I can't see the comments unless I physically go into them. I could go in here now. There's 10 comments. I go like that. Now
Yeah.
I can barely see just shadows of us in the background, but
Well,
I can see the
do you know what you
comments.
look like?
I look like somebody go through a very thin Venetian blind.
Do you know what I look like?
Yes,
Okay.
I think.
So, anyways, hey, Alex. Welcome, welcome. Well, let's see. We are what? 4 minutes in and Gone with John.
Hey, John.
Excellent. So, for me, and these are only my personal values, morals, ethics, and principles. Hey, we got Reverend 20 Piece.
Hey,
Welcome back. Long time no see, buddy. And we're going to open up the panel after we get through this initial part. Um, I value thrift. I value uh, people that can work with their hands. I value intelligence. I value um, honor.
that's a big
You
one.
know, that's a huge one. I value honesty. I value commitment. I value loyalty.
That's what I was going to say too.
Yeah.
And I think you can only really find that with another man.
Well,
It's hard.
because
There are
they
loyal women.
value that as well. Women don't value loyalty. Look what happens in a war.
Yeah, yeah.
Legs up for the victor.
Yeah, that's true. And that's their survival instinct kicking in to go with the strongest caveman.
Yeah.
So they'll monkey branch to the other caveman because he just killed you.
Right. And that monkey branch is the opposite of loyalty. So
Right, right. Just like John said, women don't have what we are made of. Hey, Edis is here. Hello,
as he
Edis.
is. He just
Loyalty and
valued
integrity.
loyalty and integrity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, when I make a deal with somebody and I shake their hand and they shake my hand and I look them in the eye, I expect them to uphold their end of the deal and I expect to uphold my end of the deal. And that's just something that is lost nowadays with especially the younger generation of men. If you shake a 20-something-year-old's hand and they give you a limp wet fish for a hand, my uncle, when I was a kid, they'd shake my hand so hard they'd squeeze until the bones were touching each other in your fingers, and
Yeah.
try to make you screech, and
Well,
my uncle
yeah.
squeezed my hand one time so hard I could feel my outside knuckles touching each other in the middle, and I just looked at him and I said, "You're not going to make me say anything."
Yep. Well, toughness.
Yeah,
That's another thing that I value. I value perseverance. Sometimes I understand people get down, but you gotta pick yourself back up and go again. You know,
yeah. And there's just a defeatist attitude and too easy to quit.
that's
And
why I
I
don't.
found,
That's why I have no respect for the black pill. I'll never get a woman. Fuck that, you fucking pussy. Suck it up.
yeah.
You know.
Hey, Doug. Hey, Doug, how are you doing?
Hey, Douglas. And you know, it's but which one of these are MGTOW values? These are all manly values. Is there a difference? You know,
I would say that they're what you were naming off are masculine values.
right?
Yeah.
So are the values that we're talking about, the ethics we're talking about, the principles we're talking about, are those just manly values? Masculine values? Is that the way that they are defined, or is there other values like adaptability, which you gotta give it to women; they're adaptable. But is that a value that is a MGTOW value?
I think women's adaptability is for their own self-preservation, where a man can be put into a situation that can you would have to adapt, but it wouldn't be just for your best interest. It would be for your family's best interest or for the betterment of someone else. You could help somebody else out. It's not just who's going to feed me tonight type deal.
Yeah, you
And
know,
unfortunately, I was raised by a single mom. Dad wasn't around, so my uncles and my grandfather were basically my my masculine influences, and I didn't see my uncles a whole lot. My
oh God, I've got to get
grandfather, but
gun with John's got to get a wrench, or Bob will come in here and fuck him.
yeah, you got to watch out. Old Bob likes to do that, but I can't ever catch him where he's not a wrench somewhere. Otherwise, I'm
Yeah.
gonna nuke him one of these days. I'm gonna find some site that I'm a wrench on that he's not. I'm gonna get him. I owe
Yeah.
him, but I also owe Hemi, and I can't ever find one that Hemi's not on either. So, but
Well,
I
let's
think
see.
that
I'm going.
like the morals, ethics, values, and principles are a good starting point for your life. You know, they're good things to have. They're, you know, it's
We're
good to
gonna
be
get.
a moral and ethical person. And I can say that I haven't been that my whole life. I've never really been a total sleazebag scumbag and screw somebody over. If I'm going to screw you over, that means you screwed me over way worse. And I can honestly say that I have a couple of very close friends, and that's it. Everybody else is just acquaintances and, you know, people that I work with and stuff. But um, I have been a better friend to a lot more people than they've ever been to me. And I've gotten screwed over by so-called friends. And once you do that, we're not on the same level anymore. We're not going to be equal in that relationship. You know, I'm not going to go out of my way to help that person again once they screw you over.
Right. Well, we're all human, and nobody's perfect. You can't be, morally 100% walking the high road your entire life. Everybody has a moment of weakness.
Yeah, yeah. And if there's somebody there to take advantage of that for their gain, their personal gain, they will do it most of the
Yeah.
time. So, and it's who you hang with too. If you hang around with thugs and dope slangers and stuff like that, you know, I've hung around with dope dealers. I've hung around with never any gangbangers or anything like that because I was pretty much the wrong shade to be. I would be a gangbanger victim instead of a cohort where I grew up. You know, all the Bloods and Crips came in. White boys weren't looked upon too well. So.
Yeah. Well, those guys have pretty much been pushed to the wayside, and almost quietly by the
Yeetus
cartel.
is wondering where the link is, Brandon. If you didn't
I'm,
see that,
I'm, yeah,
I know you
I
haven't put it
saw
up
it,
there. Yeah.
and
Okay.
I just threw it. I just threw it in chat.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
So I'd love to hear what everybody else has to say on this because this is definitely an open topic. It's open for discussion. There is nothing written in stone on this, but I think we have come to one good conclusion that most MGTOW values are masculine values. And that's something I hadn't put two and two together and thought about before. But you're absolutely right. All right, the link is now in chat. So if anybody has something to say, come aboard and say it.
Green
If
Lord
you want,
says, I have no desire for a romantic relationship for the rest of my life. I'm in that with you there.
yeah,
I've was divorced. It's next month will be 2 years, and that was my second divorce, and I was married to her for almost 12. And I really have no interest in getting involved with another woman. I really don't. So I'm with you there. And
yeah,
eight,
I'm
or there's
same thing.
JR. There's JR.
Yeah.
Is that
Hey,
Yeetus?
it was good because a lot of my comments are getting passed up, and I was getting irritated. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real right now. Okay, right now, when it comes to who your homeboys are truly is, you guys shouldn't have a giant circle. It's very, how you say, outlandish if a man has a giant circle of friends. You should not have a giant circle of friends. You like, especially if you're a man that is doing something very well in your life. Because let's keep it real. There's people that claim they are your friends that are happy that you're doing good, but they're not happy that you're doing better than them.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And the less people you let close like that, the less people that can fuck you hard.
That's
Exactly.
why I have whittled my friends down. My best friend, him and I had an out, and I told him to fuck off, and I haven't talked to him for we're going on 5 or 6 years, and we met in first day of high school, and I've been out of high school for now going to be 33 years, so that'd be 37 years, and we don't talk to each other anymore. And I've only got a couple of friends that if they called me up in the middle of the night and said, "Hey, I need your help, bring a shovel," I'd go, "Okay," and I wouldn't ask any questions.
Yeah, don't give me any details. I'm on my
Yep.
way.
So I'm on my way, and we'll figure it
And
out after we get done with whatever we're digging.
and for me, it's only 3 to 4 men that I'm willing to do that in real life, right? And don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, like if I knew Brand True Blood, if I knew Mouth Gape, Agape Ape in person, I'll do the same thing, right? So at least the current people that's in my life that wants to have my assistance or advice or any type of friendship, there's only 3 to 4 people that I can think of. That's it. I don't need no goddamn plethora of fucking friends, right? In my opinion, that's downright annoying at the end of the day. I don't need 100 people calling my fucking phone, kissing my ass and shit, talking about, oh, how amazing you are. Yeah, I get it. I'm fucking amazing. Okay, what else, right? So
And
that's
modest.
hey, fuck the modest part, right? But at the end of the day, right? Like it's a tough lesson for men to get to, at least these days, because they truly believe that his giant circle of friends are for him. Like the circle of friends have the best interest, the best type of positivity for this person. But in the end, I guarantee you at least 50% of these guys are wishing for your downfall. I've seen it personally. I've seen that shit personally. And it sucks. It really does. Because it's on the level of Julius Caesar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
And
also
Hey, Yeet, what are your thoughts?
bullshit.
Yeet, what are your
What's up?
thoughts on what values, morals, ethics, and principles mean in the sense of MGTOW?
It's crucial. Those type of like values, morals, ethics, and principles, it is completely crucial when it comes to MGTOW, because MGTOW will not exist without those 4 things.
Right.
MGTOW,
Do you feel like
what's up?
defining them, what they mean to you?
Like each one, or just
Well, just,
in general?
Your top 10, whatever.
Well, principles is like things that you're not going to slide back on. Ethics is something that you believe that something is just or something is unjust. Moral, something that is right or wrong. Am I missing one more?
Values.
Morals, ethics. Oh, values. Yes, values, in my opinion, is the most important of all of that shit. Values is the biggest thing that a lot of men need to sit back, relax, crack open a cold beer, and contemplate. Because as a man, you can't, in my opinion, you cannot be a man if you do not have your values in order. You can't.
Yeah. For me, it's honor, integrity, strength, and wisdom. Those are my
I
top
didn't even
4.
think about wisdom. I agree, Brandon. Wisdom is very important as well. I agree.
And like you said, integrity is huge.
Oh, I'm a big fan of, like, I'm sure you guys saw my comment, right?
Yeah.
Loyalty and integrity is the biggest factors if I'm going to associate with you or not, because we can have differences, we can disagree on various type of ideals or philosophies or whatever it is, but if I cannot count on you to have my back on certain situations, once again, if I'm doing something completely illegal,
I have your back on every situation except for Gray.
Oh, okay. But what I'm saying is, if I can't count on you to have my back, and once again, if I did something very heinous or something very atrocious, I get it. Okay, I fucked up. I don't want you to have my back. But anything else, I will like for you to. What's a good example? Me fucking kicking down your door and saying, "Hey, there's a couple of people that's not too friendly. I need your assistance right now to sort out the situation."
Yeah.
I would like for you to not question anything and say, "Okay, what do I need to bring? What do I need to like? Well, what's up? What's going on? What like tell me what's going on, and we will definitely deal with this situation." That's it. Don't try to fucking interrogate me. No. Just say, "Hey, something's going on. I need your assistance. Let's go."
If your car's broke down and you're 100 miles away from town, if I call you, I expect you to come and get me, because I would drop what I was doing and come and get you.
Easily. I did that in the military.
Yeah.
Easily. In fact, I did that in Arizona.
Yeah, I got stuck by a so-called friend, and I was about 35, 40 miles out of town. My motorcycle broke down, and I got a ride to another town and couldn't get a hold of anybody. And I started walking back, and I walked 9 miles on the highway, and it was 95 degrees, and I walked 9 miles before I finally got a signal to my on my cell phone on the top of this hill, and I got a hold of my mom, and my mom lived at that time, she was 70 miles from where I was, and she came and picked me up. Well, a friend of mine I got a hold of, well, I got to play softball tonight, I can't miss this game.
Do you know the
fuck?
are you a veteran?
Ex-friend.
Yeah, he's an acquaintance now. We're not nearly as friendly as we were when back then.
But Ape, are you a veteran yourself?
No, sir.
No. True Blood. Just to paint the picture. Do you know the how do I explain it? The situation where like the Germans, they come over and there's some type of relay, some type of event where you earn like that gigantic gold badge on your uniform. I had to do that. Unfortunately, I only had silver, right? Because I hate running. My cardio is fucking ass. But I got silver, right? So that's a good thing. But right after I did that, and I was going to my room, I was ready to knock the fuck. Well, before I drank some tequila with my roommate, I was ready to knock the fuck out. Somebody called me and said, "Hey, I need a ride to the airport at 10:30 at night." 10:30 at night. What I do? Did I brush him off? No. I just like, okay, I'm gonna make sure you could get home to your family, because right now I'm not gonna be a whole. The fact that you had to call me, I know that you're in trouble, because you already know that I ain't gonna do shit for you. So he called me and said, "Hey man, like nobody's able to give me a ride to the airport. I need help. Like I need to go so I can, make my flight in time." too easy. I'm able to go over there, and I drove almost 2 hours to the airport in Arizona. Was it Tucson? Yeah, Tucson.
You're a good
There's
friend.
bro, like, don't get me wrong. I was contemplating on saying like, "Fuck you," like it ain't my problem. But at the same time, I would like for this person
Hey,
to help me.
you can bitch about it as much as you want, as long as you do it.
Yeah, you did
Oh yeah. That's every morning. Like True Blood, you already know how it is. Every morning when you have to go to PT, like what the fuck? Like this is the stupidest shit I ever heard. Like, what do you mean we have to run 5-6 miles? Like, what is this? You know?
Yeah.
But when it comes to true friends, I'm telling you right now, at least in your lifetime, you have around, in my opinion, 5 or 6 true friends in your lifetime. Like actual friends that will literally take a bullet for you.
Well,
In my
and
opinion.
I've talked to I think I talked to Brandon about this. I was on a stream talking to somebody. Um, my mom and I moved around a lot because she would move for a better job. And I went to 9 different schools in 12 years. So, and I went to the same junior high for 2 and the same high school for the 4 years. So that means I went to 7 schools in 6 years growing up. You had to make friends fast because you didn't know when the hell you were gonna, when you were leaving. So I never, I made friends or was friendly with people, and then 3 or 4 months later, you might be gone. So you never hear from those people again. So I kind of had to do that on the fly. And like I said, I only have 3 really good friends.
I agree. I never solidified my friendship until college because once again, I sympathize with you because I also had to move to like 6, 7, 8 fucking schools until I was able to, at least in middle school, I think it was, I was able to actually stay there for a certain amount of years. And I don't blame my parents because when it comes to the financial situation and all that stuff, I'm not going to put too much heart, like I'm not going to hold them accountable as much. But it was a pain in the ass moving from school to school to
Oh yeah,
school to school. Like
yeah,
fuck, like come on, man. Like I have a crush on this girl. Like come on, man. Can I at least talk to her for a second? Like
yeah,
shit.
yeah. Yeah, it sucked being the new kid in class, all those different times because it was like these kids grew up together, they're all going to this school together. They've been going to since kindergarten, and then you're the new guy, and then 6 months later you might be gone. Now you're the new guy
Agreed.
again.
And that's a horrible part
Hey,
about the situation, right? Because I never had the experience of saying like, "Hey, I knew this person since 3rd grade or 4th grade or whatever it is." I was literally that newbie like you described. I don't know who any of you guys are yet. All you guys have your little circles or your web of connections that this person, that person, that person, and I'm just here looking like a fucking idiot.
hey, I'd like to welcome Doug Edwards to the stream. Doug,
Hi,
what are your
gentlemen.
thoughts on values, ethics, morals, and principles as they
Uh,
relate to MGTOW?
I don't have all the definitions for all of those, but I've just been living, my life, trying to be the best person I can be, for the biggest majority of it. And I was raised with my dad and my grandparents and my dad's uncles and things of that nature. I think that's where I got most of my values from.
Okay,
I
well,
agree
cool.
with
So
that.
you had a nice, strong, moral, male, masculine role models out there to help you figure out where you were in life. Hey, Hemi.
Hmm. Yeah, my parents were divorced when I was 4. And so after that, I was, I was back and forth for a while. In junior high school, I had some issues. I was living with mom in junior high school, and ended up getting in a little bit of trouble. Lived on a pretty rough neighborhood and was in fights a lot and things of that nature. But once I got into high school, moved back in with dad. We did stuff like going hunting and fishing and doing other things like that. And so, yeah, that's where I got most of my values from. I think that, yeah.
See, Doug, that's a difference. I think that's why I have a more, how you say, insight of the manosphere and all that stuff, because when it comes to your mother, right? Not your mother, but just mothers in general, you have to be very fucking horrible to lose custody of your children.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to my own mother. She lost custody of all of her kids, and my dad was able to get full custody of all the kids, and that was majority of my life. And I truly believe just because of that kind of affected my emotional intelligence per se, because I'm not as sympathetic, empathetic, whatever it is. I'm just not.
Right.
Especially when you're raised by a single father, right?
Yeah. I think it gave me a backbone. So I'm not. It taught having dad, doing things with him, taught me how I'm supposed to be. So I consider it a good situation.
Right. And don't get me wrong, he did like in my adulthood, right? Like when he's done his stuff, he did apologize of the situation that he put me and my siblings in, and I respect him for that. He actually fucking apologized. He said he fucked up, he chose the wrong woman, and unfortunately his kids had to suffer the consequences.
Yeah.
So I respect him for that part.
Yeah. See, my dad was basically a scam artist and a criminal. I mean, he was smooth. He'd get away with a lot of stuff, but when I'd spend time with him, we'd go hunting. Well, it was always illegally. There was always a twist to everything. It was never all the way.
And that's the big thing, though, Abe. That's the big thing. That a lot of people tend to forget. What the father does compared to how he treats his child, in my opinion, is almost two different things. Like the father can be a piece of shit in his own right, but he can still treat his kids well. Like,
hey, Dak.
I'm not excusing his behavior of being a fucking just a disgusting piece of trash, but I do notice that even when he's a disgusting piece of trash, he still wants to be in his kid's life and try to teach him better. But the mother, the ex-wife or whatever, right? She makes it difficult.
Well, and I understand it now later on in life, because when I went to work at the railroad, and I went back home in 1996, that first year after I started the railroad, and I ran into him, and he had basically degenerated into a cocaine and meth head. And I had a conversation with him for about an hour, and I had to repeat everything I told him about 6 times. And I walked out of that house. It wasn't even his house. I don't even know. I knew whose house it was, but I don't know why I was at that guy's house to meet him. But I just decided in 1996 that was the last time I was ever going to speak to him, and it was. And he died about 4 or 5 years ago, I think it was.
And I respect that as well. I respect that. I'm the same way when it comes to my mother. But I'm a man, so it's a bad thing for the son to not talk to his mother. Oh my God!
Yeah.
That's pretty much what happens.
They say you can't choose your family, and that's true. But that doesn't mean you have to count on your family either, or that you have to interact with them.
Exactly,
when
and that's the thing. Like, it's not just me, and people think that this is out of
no,
nowhere.
it's not
like,
just you.
Yeah, agreed. And I'm like, oh, people think that just out of nowhere, like, oh, why is her children treated her horribly? Do you really believe that her children, especially her sons, out of nowhere, is going to treat her horribly? Put two and two together and actually accept that maybe there's a reason why her children don't respect her as their mother. Like, it's crazy, bro.
It is.
Well, and I can say that, my mom, most of my life growing up, she had 2 jobs, and sometimes she had 3. So I was a latchkey kid. I walked home, and I'm only child, walked home, walked inside, turned on the TV, and waited till mom come home from work. So, I can't say that my mom didn't bust her ass, because she did. She busted her ass to keep food on the table. So, and my dad wasn't helping at all. He had his child support payment was $75 a month, and when I turned 18, I think he was $5,400 behind.
And mouth ape, you gotta. This is something that honestly I never really had to address until now. I know that you guys agree. You agree what we're saying about single mothers, right? But this is for future listeners that wants to listen to Bread and True Blood's adventurous, truck adventures, right? Like the whole truck thing. We are saying the single mothers are trash in the general sense. We know that there are single mothers out there that still get shit done and still make sure that the child's are good.
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to.
I think what we go after in MGTOW with is no marriage, no cohabitation, and no children. So that we don't make any more single mothers.
Exactly. Yeah. We're not saying that
the single mothers is part of the red pill, and the red pill states that you'll be you'll be after the freaking dog. It goes, mama, the kids, the dog, and then you.
Well, there's also the court, the government.
Oh yeah, I forgot the government. How could I forget the government?
And once again, we're not saying that there aren't single mothers that have good interests to their kids, right? There's obvious evidence where single mothers that do honestly bust their ass and make sure that their kids are good. Unfortunately, they're the exception to the rule.
Exactly. And I married a single mother. My second wife was a single mother of 1. And I raised that girl like she was mine from 4 to about 17, and she hates my guts, and doesn't talk to me at all, moved to another town, and that's fine. When I divorced her mom, I divorced her whole family. So,
4 to 17.
Yeah.
Holy whoa.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
She was 4 when we got married, and then when I left the house 2 years ago, she's 19 now. She'll be 20 this year. So I left 2 years ago. So she had just turned 16, I think. This is 16. Yeah.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, like, I'm not surprised, but all of a sudden she deems that you're not, a good person, like just because.
Well, just because
it's the vagina mafia. They stick together.
Yeah,
they don't betray the sisterhood.
Well, she came out as gay at about 16, and she didn't want to tell me about it because I'm the asshole stepdad that was hard on her about things in life and tried to toughen her up and make her be a better person. And so, I was kind of the villain. So it doesn't matter.
Is she
It
in
is
college
what it
right
is.
now?
No, she's working in another town in another state, and she's happy with what she's doing. And I told her college was a waste of time. And I told her mother that under no circumstances am I going to pay for that kid's college. And she
So
kind of
she
looked,
learned something from you.
yeah. But it's a difficult situation, and it's okay. I'm happy that she's independent and she's on her own, providing for herself, because the way things were going, I figured she would be living with her mother until she was 30 years old. And she got to be 19 years old, and she saved up $8,000, and she goes, I'm moving. And she moved back to where my ex-wife was from when I met her. And so her whole family's up in this
That's
other
weird.
town. Yeah, it's crazy, and I'm proud of her that she took the initiative at 19 years old to go get a job and move to a bigger city that she doesn't drive, and she didn't want to drive. She was scared to death of driving because she has some attention problems and she would get distracted. And she said, I know I would drive into a tree or drive and hit somebody.
Oh, damn. I didn't have a choice when I was 16. My dad was like, get in the car. I was like, oh, okay.
So now she lives in a place where she can ride a city bus from basically her door to her work, and she can ride the bus stop. So that's good.
Hey, Johnny,
you got-
Ike, and Scotty.
Oh,
Howdy.
but all
Go
I'm
ahead.
saying is your daughter still needs to learn how to drive. It doesn't matter if she wants to or not. It's still a essential skill. In my opinion, it's still an essential skill. Because what if she doesn't have the bus or the subway? Or I know it's not your fault. But I'm just saying that it makes no sense. Like, oh, I don't want to drive, so I'm gonna use this, and that. I don't know. One day
she has some autism issues.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense now. Okay, never mind.
So it is better for everybody's public safety that she rides public transportation.
But do you believe that her mindset is because of her mother or herself? What's going on right now?
There is some history on my ex-wife's dad's side of mental illness and some problems.
I'm just saying that I'm just saying like the negative concept of you, because I'm assuming that.
Oh, I was dad when we got married. I became dad because her biological father, he dipped and didn't claim that he ever had a kid, and that's not my kid, and he bailed. Well, so there was not even a name on the birth certificate, a dad's name. So I was dad, but I didn't let her get away with shit like her mom did. Her mom coddled her until she was 4 years old. She was raised by all women. She was raised by her mother, her grandmother, and a female babysitter.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say it right now. I'm gonna say it right now, and this is once again, it's for future listeners. Did the mother of your stepdaughter try to say that like you can't tell her what to do, or like you're not her father and all that stuff? Like, was that the excuse that they try to pull?
Originally, when we got together, and I said, if we're going to be in this family together, if I discipline her, I don't care if you disagree with me, you back me. And we talk about it later in private. Yes. If you discipline her and I don't agree with it, I'm going to keep my mouth shut and we will talk about it later. And that happened for a couple of years. And then it slowly started that you're being too rough on her. She's just a kid. And I'm like, she needs to learn that she's too naive. She's too trusting. I said, she needs to learn not to be so trusting of people because she was very naive. She was an innocent child that had some social problems and she could have gotten taken advantage of very easily. And I was trying to toughen her up.
I'm let you know right now. My dad give no fucks. My dad and my stepmom, they pretty much tag team my ass. Like they tag team my siblings too. They gave no fucks. They were definitely in unison when it comes to punishment. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Hello?
All right.
Are we getting raided?
Welcome, Ike and company.
Oh,
The
shit.
raiding team is here.
Is
Hey,
this a
so
streamception?
I gotta
Yeah,
change
we're
a
being
few
ra-
things because
Yeah.
because they can't hear you right now.
well, you better change them. All right. Hey, welcome to the stream, my raiding brothers. What are your thoughts on what values, ethics, morals, and principles that a MGTOW should have?
Give me 1 second. I'm fixing a few things here real quick so they can hear
Oh,
you.
God, you shouldn't jump on until you got your ducks in a row there, Ike.
No, we're just putting
I
this all
you had
together
one
right
job.
now.
Flames, right? And the
I
flames are
think
working.
competence, we can add competence to our list.
Goddamn. Come on, Brandon.
I mean, if you're going to raid, you better raid right.
I've never done this before, raiding with my own stream before.
I've never raid. Hey, okay, that's a good excuse. Not gonna lie.
I've never done this before, so I didn't get everything set up right beforehand.
We're just winging it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Oh shit! What?
Shut up, Nate.
I know that name, Post Kebab. What the fuck? Hey, why are you over there? You're supposed to be over here, bro.
Okay.
What you
Well,
doing?
this isn't gonna work, so you guys have fun. We're gonna go
All
back
right.
to our shit.
Post
Later.
Kebab. I know. Hey. I know that name.
I wonder who talked him into raiding us. I bet his name rhymes with Olska Hob.
Well, I like raids. I'm glad we got raided.
Speaking about that, okay. I didn't really get your opinion per se. When I asked the question, I'm going to use the restroom right quick. But what did you watch the Under Chronic stream with the single mother and the Canadian bitch boy Chris?
You
Did
talking
you
to me?
watch that, Brandon?
Yeah, I watched parts of that.
What's your opinion? And I'm gonna be right back. Give me 1 minute.
Well, if you're married into the family, it should, you should take on the familiar roles. If one person has all of the power and, then you're not actually a family. That's my opinion. Yeah, I dated a couple of single moms, and one of them had a son, and he did something to his bicycle, and it would have been an easy fix, but instead of having him try and fix it, she took the bicycle to the bike shop and had them fix it. And he didn't learn anything. And I was like, why didn't you just tell me about it and and get your kid a socket set? Would have been a lot cheaper, and he would have learned some manly things like how to fix shit.
Yeah.
That was just mommy stepping in and trying to put a band-aid
Yeah.
on every situation as fast as she could, and it just enables the kid to be a little shithead.
Yeah,
He can break his bike, and he knows mommy's going to rush out and fix it.
and she came at me and she said, "Don't you tell me how to raise my son." And I said, "Goodbye."
I know that's I've been through that once before, and I actually really liked I liked her, but I also really liked her son, and it was the same situation almost. If you tried to do man shit, if you tried to do anything, it was like, fuck you, you're not doing that. So
She wanted that son husband. She
That's
wanted
exactly
to be able
That's
to
right.
control
know.
Alex knows how to fix his bike. So
Yeah,
if you ever need
don't get me
anybody to
started.
pedal ass, Alex is your man.
Yeah, don't get me started on that son husband bullshit. Okay, that's fucking
Yeah,
creepy as hell.
It
And
is,
in my
for
opinion,
real.
that's borderline predatory. In my opinion,
Yeah.
And codependency is not a MGTOW virtue.
No.
because there's a lot of
codependency is not a masculine issue or virtue.
Self-sufficiency.
Mouth Agape.
Yes.
I shook hands with a guy earlier who almost crushed my hand.
But yeah,
I shook hands with the bishop.
I thought I had a firm handshake. I almost got my hand crushed a few minutes ago.
bro, I was able to shake hands with the
But
vice president.
after I cried,
What's up, guys?
Frost, it's been a minute. What's going on, bro?
I was actually going to stream tonight, but there's way too many people streaming. So it's like, fuck it, I'll just reschedule it for tomorrow. But I figured I would tell my single mother story since people are telling their single mother stories. Yeah, never.
Wait. Is it your mother or is it somebody that you messed with?
It was a girl I dated before I got red pilled.
Okay.
So it was one of my cousin's friends. We knew each other since we were like young teens, and I kind of like moved away from the area, and she moved in the same area as me. This is like years later. I was probably like 26, 27, and she hits me up on Facebook, and she's like, "Oh, I haven't seen you in so long. I've been thinking about you, blah, blah, blah." And, she's short. She's got a fat ass. My kryptonite is short girls with a fat ass.
Oh, so she did the hey big head thing, right?
Yeah. She did the, "Hey, mister, haven't seen you in a long time, blah, blah, blah." Because, like I said, it's my cousin's friend. We knew each other for a long time. So anyways, I'm like, all right, I always thought she was cute. And, like I said, my kryptonite is short girls with a fat ass. So I'm like, all right, bet. So we start dating, and fucking she had a kid. And, I was blue pilled at the time. So I tried doing the right thing. I'm like, oh, I'm going to take care of the kid. I'm going to be a good guy. I would like buy her kid toys. I would like fucking play like Legos and shit. Like everything society tells you to do. And it just wasn't good enough. And her kid was fucking horrible too. She was the kind of single mother. Anytime her kid acted up, the fucking internet raised her kid. She gave her the phone, and it was just on YouTube the whole time. And I couldn't punish the kid at all, and, because I would never hear the end of it. And then towards the end
you're not her dad. You're not her dad.
I remember spending the night. She didn't live far from me, so I would spend the night at her house on the weekends, and her kid would be fucking screaming bloody murder in the middle of the night, and I can't say shit, or it just turns into a big fight. And it just totally wasn't worth it. And towards the end of the relationship, I found out she was cheating on me with her baby daddy. So
this is why I say single mothers are a waste of time, because they are imprinted by their baby daddy. They will always go back to their baby daddies.
They always go back to the baby daddies. I've seen other cases with like friends, and they're like in a similar situation, and they always go back to the baby daddy. And I got a friend. He's like the definition of a Tyrone, in and out of, I'm from Detroit. So this dude, he's like a big blackjack dude, in and out of prison all the time. He has like 8 white baby mamas, and they fucking always come back to him. I'm like, I don't get it. Like, you've been to prison like multiple times. You fucking used to sell cocaine, and it's like these dumb white bitches just keep coming back to you because you got kids with them.
Well, you already know, right? Well, at least in the biological sense, if a man is able to get multiple bitches, other bitches will get very attracted because that's pre-selection.
Yep. Yeah, like my friend didn't really have anything going for him other than he was just like a big black, like jacked black dude. and he was like the definition of Tyrone. So
Oh, I definitely agree, especially with the Chads as well, right?
yeah,
And unfortunately, the only difference is Chads, at least 30% of the time they're trust fund babies. So these 304s got best of both worlds.
yep. What do you think about the blue pill alphas, Yeetus?
I believe it's completely true. I believe it's true 1,000,000%. Where these men, where they should be rebelling and they're conquering the world and enjoying the spoils, they want to fucking invest in this feminist bullshit, which I believe, like, come on, bro, like, you got like 80% of the population that has to deal with the feminist bullshit, but you are part of the top 20%. Hell, you're part of the top 1% at times. But now you want to be a fucking social justice warrior? Nah, I'm trying to get some cheeks. What the fuck?
What would you say? What do you think that the percentage of men that are blue pill alphas are?
Out of all blue pill alphas,
me personally, I think most guys that are like you would consider Chads are blue pill alphas.
Wait, hold up. Are you saying out of all like Chad and Tyrone's?
A good, I would say not all, but like a good amount.
Okay,
right.
So out of all Chad and Tyrone's, I will say 60% of them are definitely blue pill alphas.
Because I know a lot of guys, because I work at a gym on the weekends. I know a lot of guys that have like really fucking good physiques where girls see them and they fucking just instantly wet. And these guys are fucking like at least in the top 10% of men when it comes to looks. And these guys are fucking, I'm friends with a lot of these guys. These guys are like powerlifters, bodybuilders, and they're blue pill as fuck. I've talked to you about this a little bit on your stream, and it's just like, I don't get it. I'm like, bro, if I had your physique, I'd be only touching 18, 19, 20-year-olds. And he's fucking like, he's like getting 40-year-olds knocked up. And I'm like, bro.
Did you tell your friends to quit being a bitch?
Well, you want to, when you red pill somebody,
oh, shit.
You want to drop little red pill. So I don't want to like go into there and be like, you know what, women shouldn't vote, because these guys will just look at me like, oh my God, what did you just say? You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I know what you mean, but
let's get back to the topic.
Like Dragon Ball Z, I gotta hide my power.
Okay, let's get to the topic. Okay.
My bad.
We got Ike in here now. Ike, what is your thoughts on values for MGTOWs, values, ethics, principles, and what am I forgetting?
Ethics.
Ethics, principle, morals, and values.
Yeah. Anyways, Ike, you're not MGTOW. So tell us what your thoughts as an outsider.
He's MGTOW adjacent, so
that's what I keep saying. My brother tells me to stop saying that.
Hey Ike, what are you drinking?
It is the Champagne of beers. It's the Miller High Life.
Ike,
wait, what do you mean ew? What do you mean by that, bro? Come on, it's something that
it's cheap
will save your life, or save your sobriety, whatever. So Ike, I'm gonna let you do your thing. My bad, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
First off, I figured out what I did wrong with the bringing my live stream over. Second off, I was really mad when I saw that Brandon started his stream at 6 when my stream was going live at 6.
Well, mine's been up for a day.
Well, you were supposed to go live yesterday.
Well, I fell asleep, actually.
Today is just
he got called out.
Everybody is streaming.
He got called out.
But
late, bro.
I'm not mad. I'm just.
But yeah, Ike,
I just
today's
thought it was
one of those crazy days where like everybody's streaming. That's why I figured I'd cancel mine and just jump on and hang out for a minute.
Yeah, I already
I'm-
canceled mine once, so I just like fuck it. I'll go. I know I'm up against Hammer. Nobody's gonna watch this.
Yeah, we
But,
literally had like 4
yeah.
people watching ours.
I'm interested in your answer of what True Blood asked you. I'm curious.
Okay,
What do you
the
believe
quest-
in? Morals, principles, values, and ethics when it comes to MGTOW.
Well, I'm probably going to say some things that might get some people like looking at me a bit differently, but I like the idea of men having their own agency and not letting women control them and that kind of stuff. However, there's a lot of things where people talk about how they treat women that I'm not a fan of, because women are people too. They're a different type of person, but they are people too, and there are games that they play. Just because they're playing games doesn't mean it gives you right to play games at somebody that didn't play those games towards you at that point.
Well, isn't
Can you
that
be a bit more
just
specific?
Is that eye for an eye? Isn't that retaliation
Well, yeah,
when it comes to men?
Well, that's the thing, though. Is just because one person is threatening to punch you doesn't give you the right to punch them first.
Oh, okay.
I just
got
want to
you.
know why none of you guys told me that women were people. I didn't fucking know this.
No,
But-
that's why I try to treat each person on a case by case basis.
Mhm.
But in all
without
seriousness,
making major generalizations over an entire group of people.
but I've been part of this community for around 8 years, right? I've been around for a long time, and I've been doing this content creation for almost 2 years. What my thing is I don't give a fuck what women do. I really don't give two shits what they do. But the problem is that once they have to face the consequences of the choices that they've made, they are quick to try to blame everybody else beside or every other thing except for themselves. And in my opinion, that's the only reason why the manosphere exists in the first place. Because they don't want to accept any type of accountability of being a harlot or being a 304, trying to live the sex and the city lifestyle and thinking that they don't have to deal with any type of consequences in the future.
Oh, was I supposed to respond to that?
Oh, you don't have to, but I'm just saying that
I mean, accountability really
that's the
is
main reason why our channels exist, in my opinion.
Well, yeah,
Our channels
bringing accountability and like pointing out people's bad behavior isn't the same as intervening with somebody before they do said bad behavior. Like pre-crime is not something that should exist. Like they're potentially going to do this, so I'm going to put the spray bottle on them to stop them from potentially doing the thing that you think they're going to do, but they haven't done it yet.
Well, is it potentially, or are they encouraged to do the bad behavior and decisions?
Well, who's encouraging that?
The state?
Here's another thing. So when you look at the stats, you look at the data, there's especially when you're talking about marriage, it's like 80% of marriages end in a divorce. So it's like, why would I take that? It's like telling me, come on, just
Herman, that's not correct. It's about 54% of marriages end in divorce, and 80% of those divorces are initiated by the women.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. But it's like telling me, come on, just go swimming with sharks. There's only an 80% chance that great white shark is going to bite you in half. It's like you wouldn't do it.
Yeah, because it's a great evil to me to try to convince men in 2023 to believe that marriage in Western countries, especially in the United States and Canada or the western part of the UK, it's worth it. Marriage is not worth it. It's not. It's not. The concept of marriage is not the same back then as it is today. Marriage is a business.
Yeah.
And right now, when it comes to marriage, the women can break a contract and get rewarded for it. And that is beyond fucked up. And once again, that's one of many reasons why channels like mine and Brand True Blood or whatever, like that's the reason why we exist, because there's not too many people that wants to speak against these atrocities, because I say that these are atrocities. We as men, we expect women to uphold their covenant in front of God when it comes to marriage. That's not the case anymore. Now it's just, hey, I'm just going to put up a front, and then I'm going to ruin your life, and me and Chad, we're going to laugh in your face while we drag you through divorce and family courts. That's fucked up.
And here's another thing. It's not that every woman will do that, as every woman has the power to do that because of the state.
I agree, Frost. My bad. I didn't mean to. I forgot to emphasize about that. Yeah, it's not about if or when. It's the fact that every woman in the West has the capability to do so. They can wake up one morning, if they're married, they can wake up one morning and say, "Hey, I'm not happy," and that man is fucked.
When you say the state is enabling them, you're talking about how like the justice system is more leaning towards women, allowing them to get away with stuff more than men. Men are deemed to be like they have. Let me rephrase that. They are
specifically
harsher sentences and stuff, especially when it comes to family court, children, and almost anything you can go to trial.
I specifically. We're talking about the child's courts and divorce courts are they heavily favor women.
Yes.
There's no argument about it.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not going to argue that.
Yeah, and here's another thing. If guys want to date, sure, date. Just know the risk. Be careful and don't get yourself in a sticky situation. Like me, I'm not a monk. I would classify myself as a MGTOW bachelor. So every once in a while, I still have a little bit of fun. I'm not out looking for it, but I know the risk. So if you're gonna do it, at least know the risk and be careful.
Yeah, MGTOW doesn't mean that you have to be celibate.
Yeah, there's
some of us who've chosen monk, just decided it's the easiest way not to get fucked over again, and that's a personal choice that you have to make. If you go out and have your fun, just make sure that you wrap that rascal, and don't use her condom. Oh boy!
Being a monk is truly the safest way. Even as a bachelor, I'm taking risks. I could hook up with a gym thought, and then she could be like, "Oh, he didn't take me seriously," and then next thing you know, I'm in trouble too. So there's still risk to it, but I know what those risks are, and thank God that hasn't happened to me. So,
and what there's another whole thing you could get Me Too'd.
Yeah. So
that's a big thing. Yeah.
If any guy is
that's a big one.
I don't blame them at all. Being a MGTOW monk is the safest way to get through this crazy gynocentric world. So that's why I'm not going to police anybody's dick. It's like, if you don't want to touch
No.
If you want to get escorts, cool. If you want to go overseas, cool. Like, I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do with your pee-pee.
And nobody who's truly MGTOW is going to tell you what to do because it's men going their own way. You fucking decide that shit for yourself.
Yeah.
We're going our own way in a group.
That's true.
No
But
rule,
Ike,
no marriage, no cohabitation, no kids.
but yeah, but Ike, what do you have to say? Because you're about to say something.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I've been like within the last like about a year now, I've been kind of getting red pilled a little bit more because of my younger brother. He got married, and his wife is a total fucking cunt sleaze fuck whore. He
Tell us how you really feel.
Makes you want to get one, huh, Ike?
like I was over at my mom's house. I was over at my mom's house, and my brother called her, and unbeknownst to me, he was on voice on his car, and his wife was in the car, but he was asking my mom on Thanksgiving if him and his wife could come over, and I'm like, if she comes over, I'm leaving. And apparently my mom told him that, and she didn't realize that it was on voice through the car, and she just starts ripping into me, and I couldn't hear it. I could hear her, but I couldn't understand what she was saying. But she was just going batshit fucking crazy. I'm like, well, just tell her that she just proved my point.
Well, Ike, I'm gonna keep it real.
Hold on.
I
Just real quick. The second part about this is he told me that he found a text like a tree in her phone with where she was talking to another guy. He got the phone number for this guy and called him and be like, why are you texting my wife these things? And he says to him, well, your wife told me that you guys were in an open marriage. And he's like, this is the first I heard about that.
Oh, he needs to get out of there.
See, well, Ike, yeah, you're definitely in the right, because I'm gonna keep it real. No bitch is gonna come between me and my family. I'll give a fuck who she is. I'll give a fuck if she's goddamn how do I explain it? The young version of Jennifer Aniston, the young version of Angelina Jolie. I'll give a fuck who she is. If you want to talk shit about my family, you can get the fuck out. So I definitely agree with you.
Well, also on top of all of this, I didn't even get into the whole situation where she tried to choke my dad.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Wait, hold the fuck. Wait. So your brother didn't go all OJ on that bitch? Because I'm probably have to go to jail.
I would have had my thumbs in her eye socket.
Yeah, I would have to go. I'm sorry, bro, but I'm gonna have to go to jail with that. You don't touch my motherfucker. I'm sorry.
There's a reason I don't want to be around her. And I think I was very polite saying if she's gonna come over, I'm gonna leave. And I wasn't trying to be rude to anybody. If anybody wanted to stay and hang out with her, the only reason I would have stayed is because they had a kid together, unfortunately. The only reason I would have stayed is so I could see my niece.
Yeah, true, but you gotta understand, like, and I definitely agree, but I don't even let fucking strangers put hands on my motherfucking family. And this bitch think that she has the goddamn right or the audacity.
The only reason I didn't go in.
I'm not criticizing anybody. I was waiting for a break in the conversation so I could say thanks for coming, Doug. We appreciated having you here.
Doug's out.
Yeah, peace out, man. But in all seriousness, man, Ike, you definitely kept your cool. I completely commend you, because I guarantee you right now, I will be fucking Ike Turner up in that bitch.
The only reason I
didn't think that she can put her hands on my goddamn father.
The only reason I didn't go in there is because at the time my other niece, my other brother's daughter, was at the house, and I had her outside away from the situation, and I was protecting the young girl from being involved or knowing what was going on in the house there. And so I didn't go in to as like backup or anything like that, because I had a job to do.
And once again, I completely agree, man. I completely agree. And once again, I commend your patience and stuff.
I also didn't call the police, because the police show up and my dad is like saying the things and yelling at her the way he was yelling at her, they're going to arrest him.
Yeah, he would have went to jail for
Yeah,
sure.
if
the
I
only
call
reason-
the
the only
police,
reason I
I'm
didn't call
going to
the police-
jail. The fuck you mean? I'm going to jail.
Well, my
That's
dad's
just me, man.
6'4" was
You
a farmer
really
his
think
whole
some
life.
random bitch is gonna put her hands on my motherfucking parent? Get the fuck up. That's all I
And
gotta
he-
say. Get the fuck
And
out.
even at 87, burying a woman alive could take my dad out.
Well, he was restraining himself. He was in the military, and he went full military mode. It was like, so there's a lot of backstory here. Like, she lied to everybody. Said she went to work. My brother installed a tracker on her phone without her knowing, so he could tell where she was. She was at a bar, got drunk, came back to because they were living at my mom's house at the time, and my mom told her she's not welcome here. She's drunk because she's dropped my niece before while she was fucking drunk. And she was not allowed at the house, and so they're like, "This is the last straw. You need to leave. You're out of here tonight." And so my dad came in because she wouldn't leave, listening to my mom and being belligerent to everybody and being abusive to my brother. My dad came in to be like, "No, you're fucking out of here, bitch."
This all
And that's when
reminds
she tried to choke him.
This all reminds me of my stepmom, dude. My stepmom is a giant fucking cunt. The only time I go to my dad's house is when she's not there, and that's about like every other weekend because she supposedly goes to her family's up north, which I don't fucking believe. And yeah, my stepmom's a fucking cunt, dude. She stole money from my dad, and me and her own son got blamed for it. And the only reason why she admitted it was her is because her own son was getting blamed for it.
Jesus.
Welcome, Snake.
Who's no pants outlaw?
Hey, what's
All
up,
right.
guys?
That's
So,
Yeah,
True
no
Blood, does that
pants
answer your
outlaw.
question?
It's just a running gag in the community. Edis, it's you know.
I know Ike is smoking that old school pipe. You know, that's gangster as fuck.
Oh,
he's
Yeet.
Gandalf.
he's got weed in that pipe.
I have a church warden over here too.
Hey,
Yeet.
are you in your tiny house, Ike?
Yes, I'm in my caboose.
Cool.
What would you say, Brandon?
I was saying that Outlaw is the guy that helped me make that MGTOW Bells song. He did the illustrations for it and did an awesome job. And he's also responsible for the fart when it says "Jingle Bells, Hamster Smells." That fart.
Okay. Now I remember the song. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had
in
a
all
lot of fun
seri-
making that.
In all seriousness,
Yeah,
Ike,
dude,
you
you're hilarious.
definitely have a lot of patience because once again, nobody lays hands on my fucking parents or try to lay hands on my. I'm telling you, I will go. I turn her up in this bitch. It's once again. I've been in the military for 6 years. I don't fuck around. If I don't let no random motherfucker put their hands on my parents, bitch, what makes you think that you have the right to put hands on my goddamn parents? I will fucking go WWE on you, bitch. I don't give a fuck.
After that night, I told my twin brother and my mom, if she's ever there and I'm there at the same time and she gets out of line, I'm not gonna hesitate to fucking punch a bitch.
Hey, equal rights, equal laps.
Bro, I would go Hulk Hogan. I would do the leg drop and all that shit, bro. Like I'm telling you, it's not gonna end well. Cause how comfortable that she has to be that she thinks that she can put hands on the person that gave birth to you, bitch. Let me stop right there because I'm telling you right now, I can't even fathom a motherfucker trying to put man or woman trying to put hands on my parents. You know, so Ike, I definitely commend you for having patience, bro.
This reminds me of a time where my dad got into a fight with a guy, and I hate to say it, but my dad was actually losing, and I had to jump in there, and I beat the fuck out of the dude so bad I gave him a concussion, and then me and my dad were in the same jail cell. We had to get bailed out.
Wait, what, bro?
Yeah.
You never told us this.
Yeah, this was a long time ago. This was before I went to prison. I believe I was actually fighting my case, and this happened. So,
Wait, how did this start? Like,
So-
how did that happen?
So back then, this was like I was 19 and 18 or 19, something like that. And there was a field, and we had a Doberman and we had a German Shepherd, and we would take them to this field so they could run around and and play and stuff. And there was this drunk dude there, and he didn't like that the dogs were there, and he like spit on my dad, and they started fighting and shit, and they started fucking rolling around, and this dude was pretty big too. And I was like, God damn it, I gotta fucking jump in. My other brother's holding the dogs back because especially the German Shepherd's mean as fuck. Both dogs were trying to rip this dude's head off. And I jumped in there and started piecing the guy up, and fucking I gave him a concussion. And when the cops came there, they're like, holy shit, you did that to that guy? Because this guy was pretty big. And I remember...
Bro, it's easy, you fuck with my parents, or you fuck with dad, you fuck with me, that's just how it is.
We got an echo.
All right.
Oh, somebody's echoing.
Hey, Grumpy, I believe you've got your. Can you mute YouTube?
Oh yeah, they got the YouTube open too. Still.
That'll be me. Hang on.
But yeah, dude, it was crazy. Yeetus, it was crazy as hell.
Completely switched off that tab.
But yeah,
good.
Yeetus,
So
it was
the
crazy.
microphone's on, the camera's on. You can see me for real, mate.
Yep.
What's up, man?
Fair
Well, welcome
income.
to the stream, Grumpy.
No worries, mate. I'm from the land of Oz, down under.
Oh, I can hear the down under accent.
Where you from, if you don't mind, Grumpy?
Australia is what you just
Not
said.
a problem. Not a problem.
I'm drinking some good shit, man. I'm lost in the sauce. Give me a break.
You know how a lot of people don't want to dox themselves, so they won't use their real name like Terence Pop does, and we've got these fake names. I'm about halfway through. At some time in the not too distant future, probably this year, I will change my name by deed poll to I'm a grumpy old man, or one of the other ones I've got. I've got multiple identities online. So you're familiar with the idea of an internet hacker who has a black hat, and they're an evil dude, and then there's a white hat hacker who tries to keep the firewalls up so the hackers can't hack into the website. Well, there's trolls on the internet who are black hat trolls, and I'm one of those white hat trolls who makes them cry.
Okay. So I have a question for. Oh, okay. Go. My bad, Brandon. My bad.
I'll let you ask your question in just a minute, Rick. What are your thoughts on morals, ethics, values, and principles as they relate to the MGTOW philosophy?
I have already answered that question in the comments
I saw it in chat.
I put up.
Yeah.
Now, that first one you put up, where I said to the Reverend that to be a real fair income, traditional conservative Christian, and preferably a Protestant. Okay. Right. I'm fairly open-minded in my Christianity. I don't hate the Catholic Church or the Orthodox churches. There's two different branches of Protestant church. There's Calvinism, and then there's Arminianism. I'm on the Armenian side. I don't hate the Calvinists.
Oh, have you heard of Methodists?
The real thing is the Bible, absolutely 100% is MGTOW. It is MRA. it is manosphere. Whatever brand name you care to attach to it, men's movement, whatever. The Bible is 100% that. But it's exactly the same as your country's constitution and my country's constitution and the laws that are on the books. If the politicians and the public servants are corrupt, then they don't have to administer or enforce those laws in an honest, unbiased manner. So everything turns to crap, even though the morals, ethics, and principles are there. It's just that people are not doing it.
True. I agree with that.
Now,
And
favorite,
I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm actually an ordained minister, but I do not hold with organized religion.
Same here. I'm in I'm in a few think tanks and lobby groups and political parties here in Australia. In Australia, we've got multiple political parties. There's about 55, probably nearly 60 of them. And you can join more than one. So I'm on the email list for several political parties. I'm in several lobby groups. But to get back to this directly, okay, that's why I put that link in the StreamYard chat that came through for the Sheila and the gig. So later on, if you want to, put that up on the screen so the boys can see it, and everybody online can actually see that image. I got that Wikipedia page by doing the image search. So do a Google image search, Sheila and the gig, and there's pages and pages of them. And when the ones that are right across the top are the real actual photos of the gargoyle above a church, and there's a couple more further down the line like that. But once you start getting further down, there's some images in there, and they are recently done artistic modern stuff that some gender studies Sheila has bloody done because she's doing a dual degree in art and gender studies or something like that. So she's done a painting of a Sheila and the gig or statue of one.
Brandon, I have the Wikipedia article shared on mine if you want to put up my computer screen.
And
it looks like you froze.
The other one I could tell you. This is big. This is important. Before I stand back and allow you guys to discuss it a bit more. In one of the comments that you'd be able to find if you scroll through back on the page, I said that these female gargoyles were above the door of almost all of the churches in England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. And what knocked it on the head was 1066. So when the Normans turned up, a big part of the Norman conquest, one of the big reasons behind it was the Vatican and the Pope hated the church in Britain, hated, loathed, and despised it. And they cottoned onto the idea that this nobleman in northern France had some claim to be king of England. So they gave him heaps and heaps and heaps of money and all the soldiers they could get from all over the place so he'd have a better chance of winning, and he did. So then they rampaged across the whole bloody lot, just like the Vikings did and the Angles and Saxons did and they smashed up a lot of these churches and smashed up those gargoyles that were on the churches. So if you go to Britain, there's only a very small number of churches here and there that missed out, and they've still got them, and that's where those photos come from. And the other one is, traditionally in Australia, I've never seen one because I haven't done the fashionable thing to go back to Britain, but traditionally in Australia, that's why we refer to them as Sheilas. That's your common slang for a female is Sheila in Australia because of that. That's what it goes back to.
Very cool.
Okay.
So I'll leave that to you. If we could find some way to get back into the churches like the MAGA Republicans and the Tea Party people are getting back into the Republican Party, if we can do that to some of the churches, then we've got some hope. And I also, I will go on a bit more, if you be patient with me. Do you guys,
Okay, and a little bit longer, and then Yeetus has a question for you.
Now, why did it happen in Waco? And the number is 70. 70. That's how many people there were in that compound. So if you were doing a proper Christian community like that, but you had 700, 7,000, 70,000 people, and they're all in the same church, they're all living in the same area, not far from each other, do you think the FBI is going to turn up and kill you all? No. No. Right across the whole planet, there is only one and only one community of white Northern European Christians that is growing and spreading, and that's the Amish in America. Now, the problem with them is they hate the technology, and they're also a pure pacifist, so they won't be in the military, they won't be in law enforcement, but at least they rarely ever get divorced, and they have more than 1 or 2 children. You know, they have 3, 4, 5, 6 children. So the Amish community is growing and spreading, and they keep going sideways, buying more farms. That's the only hope that I can see for all of those countries, Australia, America, New Zealand, Canada, Britain. If we can find a group of people, get them into a local area, concentrated, almost all of us are in that church, FBI, whoever it is going to leave us alone. And we'll be able to do our thing on our turn.
Yeah, basically what you're talking about is no-go zones, right?
Not quite, but if push comes to shove, because if you are a real fair income traditional Christian, then you're an open, honest person. But if someone's going to back you into a corner, you got to come out fighting.
Yeah, like TFM talks about this all the time. So he talks about no-go zones, and he talks about, he uses the Muslim no-go zones, and they kind of just let them do whatever they want because they know if they go in there and they start shit that the Muslims are going to fucking like burn the city down. Like there's stories where like the Muslims fucking boxed in the fucking cop cars with like flaming dumpsters and shit. And they don't want to deal with that. So if you got the number,
wait. My question is to Grumpy. How corrupt do you believe Christianity is in 2023?
How corrupt is Christianity?
How corrupt Christianity is in the Western world in 2023?
It varies enormously. When I was living in a city, I'm way on the outskirts of a big city now called Brisbane in southeast Queensland. I used to be right in the city. And what I did then, I went to a different church literally every Sunday so that I could look around and tell them how corrupt and rotten they were and then move on to the next one. And what I found from that was around about the same time, there was a Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, just around the corner from where I lived. And even though it's a franchise like McDonald's, it was a bit slack. There would be times when the management wasn't really doing a fantastic job, or they didn't have enough staff rostered on, and you'd get a box of chips and they wouldn't be cooked properly because they hadn't left them out of the freezer long enough and they were half frozen in the middle. And the churches are like that. You might go to this church in this place, whether it's in an urban area or a country town, and Brandon Trueblood is the pastor, the reverend minister of that church, and he's a decent, honest person. He's preaching it real. He's got a circle of church elders around him who are also good, decent people, and they're backing it up, and that's fantastic. But the further up the management chain you go, because the tertiary education system is controlled by devil worshippers, there's a hell of a lot of completely evil people who have infiltrated their way into every single church on the planet, except for maybe the Amish.
So, such as LGBT being accepted in the church, or drag queens being accepted in the church?
Yeah. So, as a little boy, I was a Presbyterian. And the Presbyterian church that I was in, that my family went to, is one of the ones that voted in the election to unite. So I was in the uniting church after that. And from a purely theological thing, like the theology that they teach you at the college when you're doing your divinity degree, I personally love that the most. I think Arminian Christianity, rather than the Calvin Christianity and the Catholic churches, they're okay. I prefer the Arminian, but you could look it up yourself. Just Google it yourself. Uniting Church, Pitt Street, Sydney. Now, that church would be like churches that you would see in San Francisco. The whole place is chock-a-block full of GLBTIQ, rainbow alphabet soup types, the elders, the preacher, gay marriage, the lot. You can shove that right where the sun don't shine. Not interested. But where I live, the local Uniting Church pastor ain't too bad. There's some good people in it. The Presbyterian Church where I live now is one of the tiny handful of Presbyterian churches in Brisbane that voted no and remained Presbyterian. Back in the day, in the early 70s, there was 6 of them in the greater Brisbane area or southeast Queensland voted no. And one of the ones, and the preacher who's in there, I don't appreciate the Calvin side of it too much, but that guy is Brandon Trueblood 2.0. He is a really decent, honest, great bloke. And if you go to his Bible study, man, it's word. Straight out of the book. No deviation whatsoever. He's on point on that book, on that word, on that clause. And oddly enough, this
Gentlemen,
particular
I
preaching,
hate to interrupt you midstream, but there's a couple of us here who are running up against time.
hey, no
And
worries.
I'm gonna, I've got to get up early tomorrow and drive, and Agape has got to get up early and fix trains and stuff. So let's have some final thoughts. If you have anything to say, yeet, and Frost, you didn't need to run away. I was going to have you give your final thoughts, but anyways, Doug, you got anything to add before we wrap it up?
Oh, just good talking to you tonight, Brandon, and I hope it's going well for you out there. And Mouth Agape, I can't thank you enough for all the help you've done for me. So thanks, man. And I'm doing the best I can out here and taking it every day as it comes. I'm real happy about it. So I just wanted to come on and tell you guys thanks. Thanks for your support.
Hey,
Good.
anytime, Doug. Keep being successful, man.
Absolutely. These guys I'm getting to work with are kick-ass people, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying that part of it big time.
Good. Glad to
All
hear it.
right.
Stick to your plan, make your money, mate.
Absolutely.
Grumpy, you got any final thoughts?
I'll finish that last sentence you broke off. The guy in that Presbyterian church, he was brethren, but the open brethren, not the closed brethren. But he flicked over to the uniting church. Now, that's the kind of thing I want to see, is a proper church, and it's got to be one of the bigger ones, like the Amish or something. Another one that I really, really like is the Seventh-day Adventist Church. I can't vouch for America, but here in Australia, it's very TradCon, very MGTOW, very MRA.
They're very good people here, too.
Yeah, well, the only Sheila, I've met two Sheilas in my life that I know Undead Chronic would approve of, no Hyman, no Diamond, and one of them was from the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Now, I didn't chase after her, but there's little things I could tell. She was a good girl from a good family. She zero body count girl. And that's what we've got to find, is a church where you can have families like that, where you can find good people, but you've got to hold the line. Absolutely hold that line. If we could have something like the Amish church, but you're okay with the modern technology and you're willing to do your national service and be in the military and then maybe work in law enforcement, so that push comes to shove, you've got a gun cupboard in every house.
All right.
You can back each other up. That's my thing. That'd be my final thought. More than anything, the worst thing.
I like the Beecher Bible and Rifle churches myself.
Yeah, well, the worst thing that ever happened to Australia was the gun laws. For God's sake, stick to it. Do not let them take your guns away. Keep them. Keep them.
Okay. Thank you very much. Ike. Final thoughts, Ike. Going once. Going twice. I guess Ike has retired for the evening. And Ape, what do you have to say? Any final thoughts on values, morals, ethics, and principles as they relate to the MGTOW sphere?
I think that all of those are up to each individual man. You have to determine what your values, what your ethics, principles, everything. You have to determine what that is going to guide your life in, and what you're going to use that. How you're going.
And I think that is the perfect MGTOW answer.
Wait, what happened to the other guy that was talking crazy?
He wasn't talking crazy. He's just talking a lot.
Okay. It's like one of those. It's like one of those things I do when I have to give a speech in high school, and you need to fill like a good 15 minutes or something, and you only have a 5-minute speech. But no, it just seemed like he just kept going on, and they went on to others, like branched onto other subjects. I don't understand how people can just talk that long and not say anything. I know he had good points, but I wasn't paying attention because I had to pee, and then somebody called me.
All right, Ike, do you have any thoughts about values, morals, ethics, and principle as they relate to MGTOW? Because we are shutting her down.
Oh, you already asked me that, and I answered.
Okay, so
final thoughts, though. I love you guys. You're some of the best people I've ever met. Like, again, like with any group, like a lot of our ideals and some of the stuff that we think doesn't align. And just because I don't think the same things you guys think, I'm not ostracized just because of that, because there's like one thing I think differently. I don't follow the group think. And this isn't like any kind of woke group where you don't follow along with one thing, they kick you out.
Well, that's because this is not a movement. This is a philosophy. And you approach it how you want to approach it. That's why everything.
Did I call it a movement?
No, I'm just saying that if it was a movement, it would be a woke. It would be a group of people all collabing and forcing it onto somebody else. That's where this social justice bullshit and wokeness. As far as what Grumpy was saying. Yeah, I think that the modern church is cucked, and it's
agreed.
And if we went back to the Bibles and rifles churches, the government would be a lot more afraid of us than they are.
just really quick on the church thing. There was a thing I listened to recently on a radio show I listened to, where they were talking about there was a priest or somebody in the UK that is non-binary, and when they were talking about how the non-binary fits into like biblical scripture, it seemed like they were trying to make scripture fit them. And that's not how religion works. You're supposed to try to make yourself fit to what the scripture is asking you to do.
That's exactly how they did with the gay marriage and everything else. Exactly. They find a verse or something, and they twist it, manipulate it to fit their narrative.
It was the way
God is love. I love everyone, including dogs and chickens. So I am love, therefore I am God.
Yep.
What the fuck? Get the hell out of here, you pervert. Go fucking shove that fucking twisted logic up your ass. Yeah.
God damn it. Literally. Hold on. Let me just put one of these in there. What the fuck?
Exactly.
I love you guys.
Good talking to you, Ike. All right, Brandon, I'm gonna get out of here. I just got that.
Ooh, me too.
I just got that corned beef out of the crock pot, so I'm gonna eat a little.
You guys chat, and people lingering, watching without chatting, just watching the shit show. Have a good evening. I'm out.
All right. Well, we'll come back and revisit this at another day, but I agree with Ape that everybody has to choose their own morals, values, ethics, and principles for themselves. And
Yeah.
that's pretty much where we started the night, but we hadn't really defined it. So I think we had a really good conversation on this, even though it was kind of went in some directions I hadn't anticipated. So thank you, everybody who was on the panel and everybody who was in the chat. And I really appreciate everybody hanging out and sharing their thoughts. So if anybody else wants to talk about this online, go for it. And Ape has something he wants to say, but he's too polite to interrupt me. Ape, take it away.
No, I was just saying, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for being on here.
Okay.
All right.
Peace
Later.
out. I'll see you all on the road tomorrow. Got the technical difficulties worked out, and the MGTOW World Tour will continue. I'm on my way to Salt Lake City with a shitload of olive oil. So I'm going to give Rad a call and see if he's up for another visit from the MGTOW World Tour. Possibly we'll have a visit with Rad on Sunday. We'll see. So peace out. I'll catch everybody else around. Thank you very much. Love y'all. No homo.